Okay. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Peace to the gods and goddesses. Yes, sir. We're going to have a conversation today, right? We're going to have a conversation. So you guys see the title of the video. We're going to have that talk. But before I had to talk, I do have to say that I am not a certified medical physician. And I have to say that because if I don't, then we all know the consequences. The vultures and the vampires will attack me. So I do have to say that first. And now that that's out the way, let's have this conversation, man. Let's talk that talk. Because we're going to get into cancer today, you heard? And we all know somebody who is suffering from this disease state. And we all know, we all have the intuition that there's a cure out there, right? I mean, think about it. We got satellites orbiting Mars. We got satellites orbiting Pluto. You know what I'm saying? That's the ninth planet. There's man-made machines millions of miles away taking pictures of the ninth planet. But we can't figure out cancer. You figure out me, we got machines that could go to the deepest depths of the ocean, but we can't figure out cancer. Something seems very strange about this, right? And a lot of our intuitions are telling us that there actually is a cure for cancer, but it's guarded and kept secret. Reason being, they don't want the secret to get out. And I say they, we're going to figure out who these they are, but they don't want the cure to get out because cancer is making too much money. So we all say, yeah, man, you know, we all say it. We're all smart. We're all intuitive. We all know that they're making tons and tons and tons of money off cancer. But how much are they making really? Has anybody really done the research? Here on the Rebel Relic, I said Rebel Relics. Sorry, that's my other channel, guys. Check out Rebel Relics Labs, Rebel Relics Labs. That's my other YouTube channel, man. Tap in. But here on the Nurture Being Radio, we do the research. We validate things. So let's see what's happening with that question of ours. And we went to ChatGPT, which is not your friend. And we asked ChatGPT, how much money per year does the medical industry globally, right? How much do the medical industry globally make from diagnosing and treating cancer annually? Give me a rough estimate. And the answer was, if by medical industry you mean the money generated from diagnosing, treating, monitoring, and managing cancer worldwide, a reasonable rough estimate today is about 300 to 400 billion United States dollars globally. You heard that? You heard that? About 400 billion, and this is conservative. You got to understand that ChatGPT is always conservative. So the figure is really higher than that. But that's the low ball. The low ball is 400 billion. It's how much they're making per year. Right? So we're going to get back to that. Let's go to this YouTube short real quick. And check out what this doctor, nurse, individual has to say.
The majority of cancers are actually parasite infections, misdiagnosed as cancerous tumors, masses, cysts, etc. So if you have uterine fibroids, ovarian cysts, if you have thyroid goiters, if you have liver masses, lung lesions, or masses, and you've been told that they're cancerous, or you have breast nodules, 80% of the time there's a parasite egg sac. Not cancer or anything, but in America they get zero education in parasitology, and they're told that parasites don't exist in America.
You hear that? So according to this individual, who I would assume is a certified individual, cancers are most likely linked to parasitical activity, and they're either the egg sacs, these tumors that you see in the breast, in other areas of the body, they're stacks of eggs from parasites, or they're stacks of the parasites themselves, and they are misdiagnosed as cancer, right? That's what this individual is saying. Now, is there any plausibility to this? Well, how do you get parasites in your body would be the question, right? How do parasites enter the body? Well, naturally, I would have to think that it would enter via the foods that you put in your body. And how much people home cook their meal these days? I mean, everybody's hustling. Everybody is trying to survive this draconian economy right now, right? It happened way before Trump. I mean, the economy been going crazy since COVID, since around those times, right? See, not like that shit got crazy around then. It still hasn't recovered even now. All the way today, June 6, 2026, 6 years later, people is still struggling, working 3 jobs to try to make ends meet and to keep things going, keep their loved ones alive, right? Because everybody gotta eat, everybody gotta drink. We need water, we need bread. And the world still ain't recovered from that C-19 situation yet, right? Which is also a manufactured. We're on the topic of disease states and medicine. So we all know C-19 is also a manufactured crisis and virus, right? So yeah, how do these parasites get into the body? Well, they have to get in the body via what we eat. And what are we eating right now? Because we're so hungry, we're eating fast foods. We're eating the McDonald's, the KFC, the Wendy's, the Newcastle, right? And if we're eating those things, are we to trust that it is cleaned well? Are we to trust these corporations that generate trillions from us, the consumers? Are we to trust them to feed us with healthy meat, with healthy cows that graze the open fields, with healthy pork, with pigs that graze the open fields and eat organic grass and eat organic hay? Or are they doing the opposite of that? Are they feeding the pigs plastic, garbage, petroleum-based products? Do the pigs themselves have cancer? And are the meats themselves genetically modified? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves. What do you think? I'm just asking the question.
However, the CDC says it's very common to get parasites in America. It's very odd
I wonder why.
that medical schools don't teach that, and that's the truth. Parasites are the leading cause of cancer in America. And there's another cause, the second cause. They've known since 1956 that is venom, snake venom. It causes cancer. Turbo cancer is what they called. And then these 2 scientists who figured it out were paid by the American Cancer Association to figure it out and were awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for figuring out how to make cancer very quickly with venom. So you have parasites or you have venom. By the way, the venom-based cancers are dissolved with nicotine, even brain tumors. And that's why nicotine is the other N word. And it does make a lot of people uncomfortable. And the government made sure of that.
Yo, I didn't even know that part. I didn't even know that part. So snake venom, yeah? Snake venom has been known since the 1950s to cause cancer, is what this gentleman just explained to us. And snake venom can also be, I would assume it could be placed into your food products, but in a form that is very subtle. Not in a form that will kill you in 8 minutes or 5 minutes, but in a very subtle form. And it could build up in the body based off of your consistency of eating the same diet. And if you combine that diet with a high intake of nicotine, then the nicotine could dissolve or activate that snake venom, which will then trigger a state of cancer within the body. That's what this gentleman here is insinuating. So let's look that up. Snake venom, yeah? Because that's very interesting. Let's see. Now, we all know ChatGPT is not our friend, but let's just see what it says. Has it been known since the early 1950s or so that snake venom causes cancer? I think he called it turbo cancer. It's crazy. My man said turbo cancer. It put no, there is no established scientific evidence that snake venom has been known since 1950s to cause turbo cancer. There is no recognized medical diagnosis called turbo cancer. A few important distinctions: snake venom and cancer. Snake venom is a complex mixture of proteins, peptides, enzymes, toxins, and it's known for tissue damage, bleeding disorders, blood clotting, abnormalities, or whatnot. Okay. Turbo cancer is not recognized. There are occasional claims that scientists in the 1940s and 1950s discovered snake venom causes cancer. Okay, so it says here in the 1950s, there are occasional claims online. Scientists in the 1940s and 1950s discovered snake venom causes cancer. Modern illness are linked to snake venom exposure. So, are these claims backed? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT because it said that there are claims, but are these claims factual and supported by medical observations? Right? That's what we want to know. And something's telling me that it's not. No, this is not supported by current medical observations. In fact, a large body of research has investigated snake venom components for opposite reasons. Their potential ability to inhibit cancer cells, reduce tumor growth, interfere with blood vessel formation in tumors. Wow. So this is saying that snake venom actually does the opposite. Oh man, that is interesting. That is very interesting. So we're going to have to do more research on that. That's why we like to validate things. That's why we like to, go behind things and not just take everything for face value, right? So let's go back into this here, where it says about 300 to 400 billion per year is made from treating these cancers, though. And action.
So guys, you see, when you think nurture being, just think of like a one-stop herbal shop, where you can go, you can get your herbs, the skincare herbs. They can get their herbs for your internal care. We have things for the blood, for the heart, for the lungs, for the stomach. We have for if you have spotty skin, the skin dehydrated. You see, women, your vagina itch. We have something for you. You have tenderness when you are overweight. We have something for you. Hormonal imbalance. We have something for you. Men with the limp dick. We have something for you. Your face bumpy and you need something to clean up the blood. We have something for you. You know, your kidney, your liver non function. We have something for you. Your skin dry and scaly, we have something for you. You don't know what to eat, you're not sure how to eat or what to eat, we have something for you. Same it. So every single thing you can think about, we have something for you. So when you're thinking about complete nutrition in terms of medicinal plants and stuff, just think nurture being. Trust me. Nurture being, yeah. Our one-stop herb shop.
This is the snake venom one. And as you can see, like, guys, can you imagine? That's an economy right there. That's a whole economy that is based around death. That's the death economy. That's Satan's economy right there. Make you sick, make the population of the world. So they talk about war crimes. Golly, is this a war crime? Is this a crime against humanity? And if it is, who do you put in prison? Oh, that's right, nobody, right? Because these individuals who are at the top of these enterprises, these corporations, these institutions, it's the institution itself isn't trying to poison the population, but there are certain key individuals that work in these institutions, these enterprises, that are trying to poison the population. So let's put it this way. Yeah, you have let's say you have these guys who I shouldn't name, but crap, man. You have these guys, yeah? Bam. And these guys, they have their computer software engineers, they have their doctors, they have their scientists, right? And they're all just doing their job. But amongst these individuals who are doing their job, right, there's always a small group amongst them that have ulterior motives. And this small group is the group responsible for giving the whole corporation a bad name, right? And giving the whole corporation a demonic agenda. You understand me? That's the most vague way I could put it, and the best way I could put it without getting the channel, getting the wrong attention on the channel. But for those who are intuitive enough and intelligent enough and wise enough and spiritual enough, awake enough to see the picture I'm painting, that's how it works, right? That's how it works. So they've developed a whole economy based off of death, and as you can see, money is being made, right? And what does I'm sure you guys heard of this company as well. Yeah, you see them, right? I'm sure you heard of them as well, right? These are the ones who do the GMO modifications, genetic modified organism. They're genetically modifying the organisms, man. And if they're genetically modifying the organisms that you're eating, then they're genetically modifying you. That's the part that we got to pick up on, right? So let's go back to our pretend friend, and let's ask it another question, right? let's ask it another question. Where you at? Is it true that cancer tumors are linked to parasites? Because this gentleman here just insinuated, right, that they're linked to parasites. Check it out again. Check out what this gentleman just said. They said that it's linked to parasites.
The majority of cancers are actually parasite infections, misdiagnosed as cancerous tumors, masses, cysts, etc. So if you have uterine fibroids, ovarian cysts, if you have thyroid goiters, if you have liver masses,
fibroids, cysts, all of that linked to parasites. So we asked ChatGPT, is it true that cancers and tumors are linked to parasites? The short answer is sometimes, but not in the way many internet posts claim. So it's validating it just a little bit. So it says sometimes. Scientists have found that certain parasites can increase the risk of specific cancers, but most cancers are not caused by parasites, and most are not simply parasites in the body. Okay. Parasites that are linked to cancer. A few parasites are officially recognized as cancer-causing organisms. Liver flukes. Wow. So liver flukes cause cancer. These parasites infect the bile duct and cause DNA damage over time. And cancer and tumors are DNA damage. That's what that is. DNA damage of the cell. Right? This can increase the risk of calogular carcinoma. What the heck? Let's try that again. Calogular. Yo, why they gotta come up with... Yo, this word got like 80 letters in it, man. It could cause carcinoma. Put it that way. It could cause cancer. This parasite, all right? Golly. They just created a whole fucking universe with that name. Alright. You have your other parasites, like Schistosoma hematobium. And this parasite infects the urinary tract and is associated with bladder and bladder cancer. You see that? So, some parasites, according to ChatGPT, causes cancer, but it says not all cancers are caused by parasites. It says most tumors are associated with combination of factors such as tobacco use, alcohol, obesity, chronic inflammation, environmental toxins, radiation exposure, certain viruses, genetic mutation, and aging. Right? So, yes, this can also contribute to cancer because now you have genetic damage. You have damage of your DNA. When you smoke tobacco, you are reducing the amounts of oxygen that your lungs could take in. Thus, you're reducing the amount of oxygen that could reach your cells when the blood goes to your lungs to pick up that oxygen. There's nothing to pick up there. There's only when it goes to your lungs to pick up the good stuff, it's picking up the bad stuff. And then the bad stuff is what's going to your already tired cell. Your cell is looking for oxygen, but instead it's getting the bad stuff, and your cells suffocate, and it suffocates slowly until it becomes cancerous. Right? You have alcohol. Now, alcohol gives the body the environment that it needs for cancer to form and thrive, because alcohol is full of ammonium and ethanol. And it just so happens that ammonium and ethanol is like motherfucking diesel gas. Like, imagine the fire and then imagine pouring gasoline in the fire, right? So your body, or the tumor, is the fire, and The Patron, the Hennessy, yeah, that's the diesel gas. And you just threw that bitch on there, and now the tumor is just fucking, now it's activated. Crazy, right? So, yeah, that's what alcohol will do. Let's go. Henny, no Henny, and no, what is it called? Yeah, you see that? You see that? That's the hood drink right there, man. Everybody in the hood got a flask of this in the crib. And Jack Daniels. Yeah, we gotta throw that away. You know? We gotta throw that away. Because we're sipping the Henny and we're smoking the tobacco. You feel me? And if what he said is true about the snake venom, and now we got the nicotine fucking us up as well, dissolving into our bodies and activating cancer that way. So yeah, we gotta chill off the Henny, the alcohol, tobacco use, obesity. It named obesity. Alright. This is obesity, y'all. This is obesity. Yeah, you're looking at it right now. Alright. Obesity contributes to cancer because now you have ammonium rich adipose tissue. That's what obesity is. Ammonium rich adipose tissue in the form of white adipose tissue. So you have something called white adipose tissue and black adipose and brown adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue has significantly more capillaries than white adipose tissue. So if it has more capillaries, that means there's more blood flowing through it. And if there's more blood flowing through it, then that means there's more oxygen, nutrients, minerals flowing through it. And if there's more of that flowing through it, then that means the tissue, which is composed of the fats and the cells, are going to be more healthy. But you have white adipose tissue, which is what obesity is. And white adipose tissue is the opposite of what I just told you. It barely has any capillaries. It barely has any blood flow. It barely has any oxygen flow, any nutrient flow. It's just fermenting there, generating gas, generating pus, generating mucus in the bad form. And when it generates this gas, this pus, this mucus, this ethanol, this alcohol, that's perfect for parasites, man. You ever seen those house flies just congregate around a turd? There's a hot brick of shit just sitting under a tree. You know, your dog took a hot brick of shit and it's just sitting there on the floor. And all these flies and these maggots start to grow out of it, right? Yeah, that's because that shit is full of nitrogen. It's full of ammonium. And these parasitical creatures, these organisms, they like that. So that's what your adipose tissue is. Parasites and bad bacteria and viruses, they like that. And they live in there. They make home in there. That's their 5-star hotel. You feel me? They just checked into the Hilton. And now, yeah, we in there on vacation. If y'all don't move that body and exercise and eat right. So these parasites, these xenophobes is what it's called, right? They're put into the food. They're in the meats that we're eating, the flesh. They're inside there. We eat it. And then when we eat it, it enters our body. And when it enters our body is already filled with the optimum condition for them to thrive because our bodies is unhealthy. And then we eat it and they stay there and they multiply. They're like, oh shit, oh that's where you be. Like they meet up with the gang. It's like they found their long lost friends when you eat them. They're like, oh shit, damn, like I should have got here sooner. Like I didn't know you was here. Like I haven't seen you since the 80s. And then they just start popping off. You know what I'm saying? And now, you know, they become like mafias inside your body. And now it's like, it's them versus you. They form a set and they start a war against you. Now it's the parasites versus the Holy Temple. It's them versus you feel me? But you put them in there. And you trusted the food that you ate to be, unperverted. You thought it was healthy, but, the joke's on you. The joke's on you. You feel me? So that's how these cancer states develop. Now, certain viruses, yeah. Now, this part is super important. It says some researchers and practitioners argue that fungi. I want to focus on this part right here. Fungi. Yes, sir. I said it. Fungi. Right? Because people is out here eating a lot of mushrooms these days, And mushroom is just nothing but a big fungus. And fungus is not conducive to a star-based entity. And we are star-based people. If you go under the sun and that sun gives you vitamin D, it wakes you up in the morning. It regulates your circadian rhythm, right? It regulates your hunger factor. It regulates your mood, your happiness and your sadness. If the sun has that effect on you, then you are a star-based entity. You are a star-based individual, all right? And if you are a star-based individual, then you should not be eating foods that hide from the sun. You should not be eating foods that thrive away from sunlight. You should be eating foods that thrive in sunlight. What are some foods that thrive in sunlight? Well, we got fruits. We got vegetables, right? Certain fruits like coconuts, they love the sun. Watermelon, they love the sun. Sunflower seeds, they love the sun, right? All these things love the sun. But when we're talking mushrooms, they hide from the sun. Okay? Mushrooms thrive in wet, damp, and dark environments. Okay? And we ain't talking about the psychedelic ones neither. The psychedelic ones, I may argue that those ones have some benefits, some benefits to the body, the brain, and the mind. But we're talking about the culinary mushrooms. We're talking about let's look up some mushrooms. You're talking about yeast. We're talking nutritional yeast. Oh, come on, stop it. You are cell-based. You should be eating things with cells, plant cells. You should not be eating things that are spore-based. Yeast are full with spores, and spores act like colonizers, okay? You see all of these things? These are not good. Spores act like colonizers. When you intake cells into your body, let's say I eat a watermelon or I eat some rice, right? Some wild rice. These have cells, wild rice cells. I take it in my body. The cells, they integrate well with my carbon-based electric body, solar-based body, right? I'm getting electricity from the sun. I'm getting carbon from the foods, right? Now, when I eat nutritional yeast and these edible mushrooms that you see here, these fungi, then what I'm taking in is spores. And spores do not work the way I just explained with cells. Spores will enter your body, look at the homeostasis, which is the balance of the body, and say, well, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to do what I want to do. Fuck this. I need to transform this place and turn it into what I want to turn it into, which is a nitrogenous ammonium-based environment. It wants to make your body full of white adipose tissue. They want to make your body full of nitrogen. And that's what leads to cell death. Because the more nitrogen you have, the less oxygen you have. And the less oxygen you have, the more cancer you have. Because your cells cannot breathe. And if your cells cannot breathe, then there's no electricity, there's no electrons that are being used by your cell. You understand? So I try to explain that in a way that's digestible to the gods and goddesses. Let's go on to the next video, shall we? Where is... I'm here confusing myself, man. Where is the okay, here we go.
Lesions or masses, and you've been told that they're cancerous or breast nodules. 80% of the time, it's actually a parasite egg sac.
This looks like AI. I mean, his words are not even matching his lips, but let's just watch it for the sake of it.
Not cancer or anything. But in America, they get zero education in parasitology, and they are told in America that parasites don't exist in America. However, the CDC says it's very common to get parasites in America. It's very odd that the CDC says that, but the medical schools don't teach that. But parasites are the number one cause of cancer in America. There is a second, very close cause of cancer, and they've known it since 1956. That is snake venom. It causes cancer. Turbo cancers is what they called it. And then these two scientists that figured it out, who were paid by the American Cancer Society.
Yo, it sounds like he's saying the same thing from the first video. We're just going to ignore that video right there because, yeah, I knew something was off with it. Let's go into this one.
Who are suffering, that there is a cure and that it isn't expensive. They can do it themselves and they can be successful. Herbs.
Run it back.
Look, what is cancer exactly?
It's an attack by a parasite, an unusual parasite, which attempts to reproduce its intermediate stages in you. I have to somehow get the word out to the people who are suffering that there is a cure and that it isn't expensive. They can do it themselves and they can be successful. Herbs that kill them all. Whether it's the eggs or the redia or the cercaria or myricidia.
These are all the stages.
These are all the complicated little stages. Are a wormwood combination, a ground clove, and the third herb is an extract of the green hull of the black walnut tree. You have to use them together because you have to kill everything at once. Otherwise, one thing turns into the next.
Right, right. How long? How long do you have to take this?
5 days or 6 days.
That's it?
That's it.
And what happened? The parasites are...
Yes, all the parasitic stages are gone. Now, you might think, well, the cancer still goes on, but it doesn't. That was the amazing thing. The good news is that when you kill them, all that growth factor is removed. That excess growth factor is immediately removed. And the cancer stops.
You heard that? You heard that, ladies and gents? You heard that? This is an interesting photo we're looking at too, because this kind of illustrates what I explained earlier about how the world works. So you have a very small amount of people, and you see they have masks on because their identities you will never know. And you'll never know their identities, but they work through transnational corporations. So these people who you'll never know are the people behind the creation of the United Nations, the G20, the Bank of America, the biggest banks around the world, right? The IMF, the Bank of International Settlements, the WEF. These are the people behind its creation. But you'll never know their identity. You'll only know of the transnational corporations that I have just named. And the agenda of these transnational corporations that I have just named are determined by these people, which you never know. And then everybody in the world that are being influenced by these transnational corporations, the truth to it is that they are being manipulated and controlled by these people. So yeah, this was a very illustrative, wonderfully illustrative photo to see. I hope that those who are watching and not only listening, I hope you're able to see this image I'm speaking about here. Now, we said we're about to wrap this up soon, fellas and ladies, but we said that how much money was made per year? 500 billion, right? 400 billion or so. So, like, can you imagine? This is how the medical industry works, and that's just from cancer, right? That's just from cancer. So, could you imagine if we all just stopped paying 400 billions of dollars a year because we ate the right foods to prevent the cancer from manifesting in our body, and we treated the body with the right healing regimen? That 400 billion would not reach the hands of the companies that make the pills, the doctors that prescribe the medicine, the hospitals that runs the chemotherapy. That 400 billion is just gone now. So what do these doctors do? What do these hospitals do? Well, they're panicking. They just lost a significant source of their daily revenue. Their income is gone just like that, all because you decided to treat yourself like a god. You decided to not be bamboozled and tricked anymore. You decided to do the research. And now you just disrupted their $400 billion minimum. Because that's just the minimum, my G. You just disrupted that syndicate. You feel me? You just disrupted that. And that's a tower. That's the foundation. And when you kick out the foundations, the whole tower collapses. So that's a significant foundation for them that you could kick out and make the tower collapse. And this is the truth of the medical industry. I mean, guys, we're talking about there being intelligences in different dimensions. We're talking about the atom not having any type of space inside of it. The empty atom. We're talking about the fabrics of the universe is being discovered and researched in the laboratory known as CERN. We're talking about Einstein, or so they say, because you know it all came from Kemet and Egypt and these places. But we're talking about the laws of relativity being discovered or rediscovered, right? Talking about all this crazy shit. We're talking, what is it known? What's dude known from Marvel? Doctor Strange, right? I think that's his name. Let me see. Yeah, that's his name. We're talking Doctor Strange, right? We're talking parallel universes. That's what our scientist is talking about today, my G. Parallel universes, existence in other dimensions. But y'all telling me y'all can't figure out cancer? Cancer? Is it that y'all can't figure out cancer? Or is it that y'all like eating off that 400 billion a year? Come on, talk to me nice. Use your brain, guys. Use your brain. With that being said, this was episode 2 of the Nurture Being radio show. Guys, if you guys like what I'm doing, then you know, just show me some love and like the video, comment the video, you know what I'm saying? Comment the video, like the video, share the videos, and that way I know that you're paying attention to the information that I'm distributing, and that, like, you know, you're appreciating it, and that'll give me some determinations and some volition, some like resolve to keep it going. You know, keep me motivated, guys. Keep me motivated. Keep me motivated, ladies, gods and goddesses, family. Love y'all, man. Love y'all. Check out Rebel Relics Labs, if you guys want to hear some long form conversations about, you know, my travels around the world. And yeah, man. Anyway, peace, love, respect.